Hey guys, hope you are all having a fantastic day. So the banking video I promised you guys is still in the works. So far, it's about 35 minutes long, which means I might have to split it in 3 separate portions, though I am still debating as more and more information comes out. It is by far my greatest hit piece I have ever produced, with so much information coming out, especially with the things Jerome Powell said yesterday. I promised you guys it would come out today, but that is not the case. However, that does not mean we don't have relevant information to go over. Today I want to talk about AMC and the growing fundamental value along with strengthening position this company is at. Quickly, let me hype up my Discord. We are absolutely killing it on the market this week. Yesterday one of my plays paid out 900% on that SPY decline. Here are some screenshots of all the gains some of my members made along with the alerts we put out. So far this week we have only had one bad alert out of 17 total alerts. It's been ridiculously great. Come check out the trades for free on my Discord, link at the bottom in the comments and video description. For years, the corporate media has done well to push the narrative that theaters are a dying business soon to be out the door as streaming services grow into hundreds of billions of dollars in valuation, changing the traditional way we consume this type of product. The onset of the virus in 2020 brought about the perfect circumstances for Wall Street to eliminate companies it perceived as dead, and honestly put, AMC had all the same characteristics of many other corporations that went bankrupt. However, retail investors saved the company, or at least, that is what we are still fighting for. Through the years now, we have fought tooth and nail to preserve this company from the teeth of the Wall Street, and now, things are finally turning to favor our cause. You see, the fundamental thesis of AMC shorters is that there will be a reduction in audiences in theaters over time because, according to them, people only want to watch movies at home. Though Netflix and chill is an absolute banger experience, no pun intended, it does not offer the same experience that a theater does. It goes without saying, does listening to a new album on Spotify amount to the same type of experience that you get when you go to a concert? Or when you go out on a late-night drive with friends jamming it out? Absolutely not. Theaters offer something much more than a couch could ever do, even with good head, and the best part is that the numbers are now stacking up behind this thesis, supporting what we have always held to believe. You see, companies like Disney and HBO have always known theaters are an essential part of their revenue-growing business. However, these two companies in recent years have launched their own streaming services, and they have had successes along doing so. However, increased costs for producing and marketing movies are eating significantly into profits, and revenue is in decline as well, with a recession getting worse with inflation sticking around along with an overall decline in quality overall. Studios are now being forced into making bold new decisions to face the challenges of this new era, and are slowly coming to the realization that the traditional method of releasing movies for theaters is imperative if they want to keep shareholders happy. Netflix, the biggest streaming corporation in the world, has recently announced that they will begin releasing big films in theaters at limit capacity. This is because ticket sales greatly help cover the costs of production. The big news is that today, Apple announced that they are planning to spend $1 billion a year to produce movies that will be released in theaters. This is part of their ambitious effort to raise their profile in Hollywood and lure in subscribers to their streaming service. As Bloomberg stated, Apple has approached movie studios about partnering to release a few titles in theaters this year and a slate of more films in the future. This is a significant increase from years past, as most of Apple's previous original movies have either been exclusive to streaming services or released in a limited number of theaters. The company has pledged to put movies in thousands of theaters for at least a month, though they haven't finalized any plans as of this moment. The company views theaters as a way to build awareness for its streaming service. Paramount Pictures also announced that they will release the next Scorsese movie in theaters. Amazon announced they are aiming to release 12 to 15 movies annually that will get a theatrical release. We know Disney and Warner Brothers are also said to be looking to increase their output of movies in theaters after experimenting with distributing films on streaming services alone. And that is today's topic of discussion. Where does this put AMC as a company in the future? Well, let's start at the basics. Releasing movies for streaming services alone is not increasing the amount of people signing up significantly, nor is it making the ones that do sign up stay at considerable numbers. This demonstrates the reality as clear as day. The majority of streaming services cannot rely on streaming alone for continued growth, which means if they are to appease shareholders with increased revenue and profits, they need to look for sources outside the television and couch. AMC can literally only gain from these circumstances. This means that they are in a better position than ever before to profit. AMC, being almost the monopoly of theaters in the United States, can leverage their position to negotiate better deals for themselves. It's Apple and Netflix and Disney the ones that need theaters now more than ever after all. Because of the new realization into how movies will be released in the coming future, no longer can shorts use the thesis that streaming will kill theaters. In fact, AMC is in such a good position form a fundamental point that it could be implied they could be bought out by a megacorporation like Disney or Amazon. An acquisition of AMC will allow such buyer to withhold the entire profits from tickets, along with the added revenue from food and beverage venues at theaters, along with the potential to push merchandise sales at every single AMC location. This presents an immersive lucrative opportunity for growth, since theater locations could easily be transformed into something much more greater than they currently are. If you have ever been to a Disney park, you know how most of the park is comprised of stores. AMC locations could prove to be replicas of this, but all around the United States, not just 2 physical locations. Of course, Disney is drowning in debt from their Fox purchase at this moment, and not doing too well financially either, but it goes to show the great potential an acquisition for AMC could bring. Moving back to the profitability thesis, I just don't see how shorts can any longer vouch that AMC is done for when every single major movie production company is looking to sign deals with theaters. AMC's value is ridiculously underrepresented in its current share price, and though I understand market circumstances are weighing heavy on all companies across the market, AMC's current position is different, because it's been shorted for far too long. This company, as of me making this video, has a market capitalization of $2.3 billion, a criminal number considering the bright future it has ahead. The stock market works by pricing in the future potential for a company, and AMC quite literally has been producing great quarterly financial reports back to back, even during the recession in 2022. Even more, on their last earnings, AMC's CEO Adam Aron announced that the company is set to bolster their revenue this year due to a larger number of movie outputs being released on their theaters. This should scream buy right now, yet the share price has remained relatively the same from where it was prior to that great earnings report. Now, you guys know me very well, I don't simply say the good things. There are market risks associated with the current times. Fears that the economy will get significantly worse by the end of the year will definitely limit a potential value increase in market cap for AMC at this moment. It is without a doubt that if everything comes crashing down, AMC audience reduction could be expected. However, there are 2 big buts bigger than Kim Kardashian's with this opinion. One is that, historically speaking, this is incorrect. During the Great Depression, theaters actually saw an increase in audiences. This is because people want to escape their realities by going to relatively cheap avenues where they can let their minds wander off from their day-to-day problems and enjoy watching movies in a collected audience. Throughout recessions in American history, we have indeed seen theater audiences continue going to movies regardless of how bad the economy gets, which honestly adds to the value proposition of AMC, since it can objectively be said they are recession-proof. Secondly, the economy has been in a recession since 2020. It only hit the ceiling of how much it could pretend to not be in one in 2022 when inflation caught up to the delusion of the markets. People have been hurting for money, for wages, with inflation and job security for years as of this moment, and yet AMC has been slowly improving their financials over time, which cements the reality that they will endure these times. In fact, it's the corporate media's lies that affect this perception. In this channel, we have gone over time and again how the corporate media loves to market the idea that we are still not in a recession, that the economy is still strong, that the banking system is alright and strong, even when in reality everything but that. People are scared, defaults on credit are running at record highs, people can't even afford rent or mortgages anymore, with credit card limits being tested, but because the great grasp of the corporate media, everyone is under the illusion things are okay, and represent the current recession as a thing that hasn't arrived yet as opposed as the thing that actually is here with us at the moment to stay. This is obviously done for both political and economic reasons, to prevent a frenzy of withdrawals from the banks and from people from upending spending money, which would honestly make things much worse. Going back to my point, historically speaking and currently speaking, the idea that AMC will see significant reduction in audiences if things get worse is definitely a potential scenario every shareholder and would-be shareholder should acknowledge as it is an implied risk, but when you weight it out on paper with cold hard numbers, it doesn't really stand up to be much risk, and because of this, the thesis behind AMC's share price being so low is weakened. AMC's valuation should be significantly higher because their fundamental value is that much stronger than other companies. We in this channel obviously know that hedge funds and friends are caught up still to an unknown degree in short positions, and that has a huge role in where AMC trades on the daily, but still, I believe over time, the realization of AMC's investment proposition will continue to strengthen. Already movie studios valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars have realized that without theaters, or in our case, without AMC, they stand to lose literally significant value. Streaming is not enough to uphold the needed growth or stability, and AMC is not a bonus on their needs, it's a requirement. And because AMC is a requirement on their financials, it should be a requirement to every willing investor out there. Listen, I have a billion problems with AMC's board. The introduction of APE was nothing but an ass-pounding to investors, something that I am still carrying a grudge over. It did nothing but overreach into our pockets for cash. Furthermore, the board has, in my opinion, demonstrated a severe lack of imagination in implementing new ideas. I have said those things in the past and I stand by that today. I am open with my criticisms with you guys not because I demand you agree with me, but because I want to be transparent with you and want you to acknowledge the realities of all things that happen, even if you dismiss them. Furthermore, I have expressed my grievances with the AMC community, which too often is delusional with unrealistic expectations and fosters a cult-like mentality. I have lost literally thousands of followers when I began saying APE would not add value to us as investors, and that the community was dumb in assuming it would expose the number of shorts or reveal the real number of shares in the markets. I said these things since day one and I have been blacklisted for it for the most part, but yet here we are, still in the dark about the realities of what truly is going on with market makers, hedge funds and banks. What I have never ever changed my mind on is that theaters are here to stay. Theaters aren't going anywhere, and because of that, neither am I. I'm looking to start buying AMC shares in the future, towards the fall of this year by my calculation. My portfolio is diversified, so I am not YOLOing on AMC, but I will have a significant increase in number of shares owned by the end of this year. We are in this to the end. AMC is in a much better position right now. I think the board would do good to think outside the box for a bit, and I perceive AMC as still needing to make big moves to really grow to the potential it has. For example, in case you missed my prior videos, imagine if AMC were to eventually transform into a Hard Rock Cafe type of setting. They would host movies but with huge restaurants, live shows and events, sell merchandise and own a production house that pumps exclusive AMC movies and adds to their streaming services. AMC would be the undeniable home runner stock if that were to happen. Of course, this is very long term, as AMC is still crunched with crippling debt, though it has been doing good to pay it off. The potential for this company is quite literally infinite, and we need to communicate that to everyone in the board. I want to wrap up this video by thanking each and every single one of you. This channel is small, but the thousands of views I get mean the world to me. This channel lives for its audience, and I am eternally grateful for the opportunity you grant me to inform and change or add your personal life every time you click on my videos. Join the Discord if you are interested in some banger trade alerts. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Hope to see you on the other big video coming up, to the moon.